Time is ticking until Christmas, so let's DIY some easy gifts that you can make in a day or less. Hi everyone, I'm Allie and welcome to my channel. Today we are making some DIY gifts that could be for a lot of different people on your list, and these are going to be really easy projects that you can get done in a weekend or even just in a couple of minutes. And for today's video, I am partnering up once again with Louisa to share some of these wonderful gift ideas because Louisa in itself makes a great gift, but I'll have a little bit more on that later on. I want to get right into our first project. The first project that we're going to be making is inspired by this cookbook stand at McGee & Co. Obviously, you could buy it, but why not make something custom and fun for your gift recipient? This makes such a great, useful tool for either a cookbook or even an iPad in the kitchen, and also, or even a good display piece as well. And I think this is just a fun, easy gift, so let's get started. I decided to use nicer wood for this project, so I am using 2 pieces of red oak, and I'm cutting down the larger piece, which is a 1x4 into 4 even 11-inch pieces. This is a 4-foot long total length board. Then I'm also taking the smaller piece, which is a 1x2, and it's 2-foot long total, and I'm cutting it down into 2 pieces. So now what I'm doing right here is taking the 4 11-inch pieces, and I'm using painter's tape to help me bond all of these together to form one larger piece of wood. This is just because I could not find a piece that was the correct width that would look proportional to the size of a cookbook, so this is just the best way to go. I put a lot of wood glue in those cracks and then added some extra tape and just let everything sit together until it was dry. After the glue dried, you are definitely going to want to give this a good sand. So I started with an 80 grit and then I went down to a 120 grit to give this a nice smooth finish and eliminate all of that glue that you see seeped through, which lets you know that you got a really nice bond when forming this piece together. I also used the sander to kind of smooth or bevel out some of the edges so they weren't as sharp. Now to assemble this into a cookbook stand, you're seeing here I'm using way more glue. You could totally use just glue for this project. You do not need nails, but because I wanted to move on a little bit quicker, I not only clamped this piece until the glue dried, I did add a couple of brad nails just to hold everything and allow me to move on to the next steps. And as you see here on the back, I am doing exactly what I said, where you don't necessarily need the brad nails. I just glued on this little back piece here. I'm gluing down the piece about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and that is going to allow the stand to have that perfect angle. Next up, to follow the McGee & Co. version, I then drilled 2 holes very near the edge so that I can attach a long knob, or I guess it's a handle or drawer pull, I guess is the better word. And I just drilled at the hole and screwed it in to attach that handle like so. And instead of staining for this project, I decided to just give it a matte coat of polyacrylic and let that natural wood tone shine through. For our next one, I want to make something that is going to complement one of the gifts that I am giving to quite a few people on my list this year, and that is Louisa jewelry. And let's talk about the project first, because I want to make really cute little custom trinket dishes inspired by the Louisa jewelry pieces that I picked out. So let's get started, and I'll tell you a little bit about Louisa as we are making this project. To make this next DIY gift, you are going to need some terracotta flower pot saucers, and we're going to be transforming them into jewelry trinket dishes. The first Louisa piece I am pulling inspiration from is this ring, which I absolutely love and picked out for my best friend for Christmas because it fits her style perfectly. And I'm starting with a solid navy blue base with just acrylic paint because I knew that when I saw this ring, it just gave me celestial vibes, and that's totally my my best friend's aesthetic, so I knew that this was going to look so good and so perfect for her. And what's great about Ana Luisa, just like in the case of this ring, they have so many amazing jewelry pieces to fit the style of whoever you are trying to gift for. From things that are classy and timeless to pieces that are a little bit more edgy or funky and fun, I am sure that you will find a meaningful gift for someone on your list. To really bring in that theme, I cut out some moon and star decals with my Cricut. You could totally hand paint whatever design you want, or even just use some stickers that you find at the craft store to create a similar look. The next piece of Ana Luisa jewelry that I am inspired by are these Eden small hoop earrings. I am gifting these this year and I'm so excited because I love that these kind of resemble a little bit of a checkerboard pattern, which I've been saying is super trendy right now. And so I want to pull inspiration from that and make this kind of fun, abstract type checkerboard in my gift recipient's favorite colors. I totally freehanded this design and it was so much fun to create it and fill in each of the squares and adding a little touch of gold just like the jewelry. Now if you are looking for that perfect gift and don't know where to start, Ana Luisa's website has a gift guide along with a page on their best sellers, which are a great place to start when looking for some of their most gifted options. Once I had this trinket dish done, I also then sealed it in with just a matte clear coat because I did not want the paint and this lovely design that I created to scratch. And now for the third piece. I love this necklace because it flips around from a sun on one side to a cloud and rain on the other, and I just think that is just so precious. So I painted this trinket dish with a pink peach kind of gradient with some acrylic paint, and then I'm adding on a gold sun decal. And one last thing about Ana Luisa, since I know we're already in December, which means we're getting down to the last minute for those Christmas gifts, they got you covered anywhere in the US with free and fast shipping and exchanges, as well as affordable worldwide shipping, which means if you head to the description box right now and check out Ana Luisa, not only will you get a super great deal up to 35% off on your purchase, you'll also have the relief that you know that the jewelry piece is going to make it on time for Christmas. Who doesn't love receiving a candle as a gift? And what a better way than to make a candle from scratch. So this is actually kind of a two-in-one gift because if you have a candle that you are gifting, you could do the first half of this project and just wrap up that candle. But I'm also going to show you how to make your own custom candle to make this gift extra special. For this next DIY, you're going to need either a glass jar like this or an existing jar candle, and then you just want to measure the outside of the jar. Then you take that measurement, mark it out on a piece of leather, and cut it out. Once I did that, I then used my ruler to mark out 4 little holes where I will be poking out holes for this piece to kind of create a laced look. I've seen this before, but I think it's just so cute and I've always wanted to try it for myself. It's such a fun way to elevate a regular old candle or gift a candle that you are making. Now, I don't have any special leather working tools. You totally could, but I am using an awl that came in a kit from IKEA and also an X-Acto knife to just kind of carve out the holes where we're going to be lacing through a piece of suede ribbon here in a couple seconds. You can see what I did right here. After I got one side done, I transferred it over to the other side and just repeated those steps. And then I just took this suede ribbon, which I think cord is actually the right word, and began lacing it through. You can see me doing it here kind of like you would for a shoelace. I ended up changing it to a different design. You can look up different ways to lace things online very easily. I don't really know how to describe the pattern that I took other than creating this really nice looking crisscross design. Now, before lacing that up around the jar, if you are making your candle from scratch, let's move on to the second half of this project. I'm using wood wicks for this one just because I feel like that's extra cozy for the winter time, and I just glued that wick down into the bottom of the jar. The hot glue will just secure it in place while you are working on the project, and also using a wood wick means you don't have to mess around or worry about the wick falling into the jar as you're making your candle. I picked up some soy wax and I put it in a glass measuring cup, and I'm doing the double boiler method. So I stuck that measuring cup down inside a pot and let that come to a low boil, or a low simmer more like it, until it was melted. And I actually followed the temperature instructions that came on my wax, making sure I did not exceed the temperature so that I would get a nice even pour. Well, what you can see me do here is adding in my scent. I used some essential oils. I'm not even gonna share the scent I used because, to be honest, I don't really like it very much, so I learned my lesson there. But look for a scent that you know you're familiar with based on other candles or essential oils or scents that you may like, or of course in this case, that your gift recipient would like. And once the wax had completely cooled and hardened, you can slip it right into your little leather casing for it. It looks so cute and elevated with this. I tightened up the cords until it fits snugly around the candle and decided to just secure it with a simple knot at the bottom, but you could totally do a bow or even probably take some glue and tuck the cords away if you don't want to see them. This next project is for either a kid on your list or really just someone who appreciates a good board game or coffee table decor that is very functional. And I had this idea to make a game box that contains 2 different games in one and is just really fun and just kind of a classic look to it. So let me share this next project with you. So I'm envisioning a game box that has multi different things that you can do with it. And I'm using 2 wood canvas panels because I could not find a pre-assembled box that was a nice flat square shape like this. I know they exist, so I'm thinking they might have just been sold out. So here we go. Here we are making a box from scratch. But the first order of business was just staining these wood canvas panels down, or I guess wood panels because they are not made out of canvas, but I found them in the canvas section at the craft store. I'm using my favorite wood stain, which is Early American. I didn't want this to be super dark and rich. I wanted it to be more of a medium brown, so after I spread on the stain, I pretty much wiped it off right away instead of letting it soak in for a really long time. Once that stain had dried, I did give it a couple hours to do so. I'm then using my Cricut to cut out a checkerboard pattern. Cricut is just a really easy way to do this, but you can always hand create a checker pattern by using painter's tape to mask off the different squares. It's pretty simple, but using a Cricut to make the checkerboard is probably the easiest way to go if you do have one. I did initially go into this thinking that I would use the Cricut vinyl as a stencil, but to save some time, I thought, why would I go in and paint new black squares when I'm already applying black squares with the Cricut vinyl? So this was quicker and easier, like I said, of course, though, you could always do this by hand. Now, this is not going to just be a game of checkers. I want to make this a 2-in-1 game box. Why not make a tic-tac-toe board? I know tic-tac-toe is fun and simple. You could, of course, do whatever colors you want. I'm keeping mine simple and neutral because I like doing that to give you guys a blank canvas to use your own imagination and to really make these projects your own. This would be so much fun in bright, vibrant colors for kids, or keeping it like this almost makes it into a statement decor piece. Now let's make the game pieces. So for checkers, you're going to need 24 of these circle wood shapes. And then for the tic-tac-toe game, you're going to need at least 5 X's and 5 O's. I'm keeping my checker pieces super classic, so I'm painting 12 of them black and then the other 12 in a nice crimson red color. I thought about staining it to match the game board, but ultimately decided that because black and red are the classic colors, that I would stick to that. And then for my X's and O's for the tic-tac-toe, I'm just going with black and white once again, because that's really going to pop against the stained wood. I did think about also doing other colors for this, but decided to just keep it simple so that everything looked nice and cohesive. Finally, I sealed everything, including the game pieces, with some matte polyacrylic to really make sure that this project holds up and lasts through a lot of gameplay. And then to turn these 2 wood panels into a box, I added some hinges on the back and a hasp on the front. You can pick these up in the craft store in the woodcraft aisle. They're super cheap and really do bring this piece together. And this next gift makes a wonderful hostess gift, or a gift just that's a little bit small or to complement something else that you are given. And it is inspired by the kitchen video that I did a couple months ago back in the fall, and that is making a simmer pot kit. So we're gonna head over to the kitchen and we're gonna get to work, and I'll show you how you can put together a lovely Christmas scented simmer pot. The very first thing you're going to want to do is use a nice sharp knife and cut down an orange into very thin slices. You're going to want to go like 1/8 of an inch and definitely no more than 1/4 of an inch. These need to be very, very thin. And after they're cut, you'll want to dab them with a paper towel or a towel just to make sure that they are nice and dry. Now I added mine to a parchment lined cookie sheet, and we're going to put it in the oven at 200 degrees. Now this is going to be a long-term project. You put them in and have them go throughout the day, and they give your home a lovely citrus scent as they are going. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put them in at 200 degrees and flip them every 30 minutes for 4 hours. I did find that some of the pieces did bake a little bit faster and some a little bit slower, and I did even find in the beginning I could go for an hour at a time before I flipped them over, but once I got to the final 2 hours, I did go in and flip them every half hour. You'll want to make sure the oranges are nice and dry. You can see what they kind of look like right here as the final result. They definitely are a bit darker, and you can tell that there isn't any moisture left in them. I also gathered up a bunch of other supplies that I thought would create a really lovely scent for around the holidays or just the winter time in general. So first up, I'm putting some cranberries in the jar, followed by some dried ginger and a couple sprigs of rosemary. No jar is complete without some cinnamon sticks because these really are going to bring the scent. I also added in some star anise and some cloves before finally adding in those orange slices and sealing up the jar. If you're gonna gift this to someone, you're going to want to include a gift tag with some instructions on how to use the simmer pots so that they don't think you just gave them a big jar full of random baking items. Once your gift recipient receives their jar, all they have to do is bring a pot of water to a simmer on the stove and add in their ingredients. They can even add in a little bit of vanilla as well. And here you have a lovely simmer pot gift that makes your home smell so nice for the holiday season. That is all of our DIY Christmas gifts in this video, but if you want to check out even more Christmas gift ideas that you can hand make, I'll put last year's video on the screen. There's a bunch of ideas in that one as well. Don't forget to head to the description box and check out Louisa to find that perfect gift for someone on your list. And that's everything I have for you in this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!